Here's some new info on the building that collapsed in the Bronx. A engineer told construction workers that a load-bearing beam was decorative. So if I'm getting this correct, they either didn't build it or removed it, which is crazy for construction workers to do. I mean, they should know where to place various load-bearing beams.
The city's buildings department says it found a fundamental inspection error that may have led to the building collapse in the Bronx earlier in the week.
And the person they say is responsible has inspected hundreds of other buildings in the city. We have team coverage as more residents are being let into the building tonight to gather their belongings. But let's get out to CBS 2's Allie Bauman. She is live with this exclusive reporting tonight. Allie.
Well, Christine, the buildings department does not yet have a final determination of what caused this collapse, but the commissioner told me that they found such an egregious error with construction work that was happening on the day of the collapse that it seems very likely they know what caused it. And he says it comes down to an engineer who told construction workers that a corner beam of this building was simply decorative, when in reality that beam was holding this whole structure together.
Residents and city leaders alike have been wondering what made this apartment building in the Bronx suddenly crumble to pieces Monday afternoon. Now we may be closer to the answer.
It wasn't a close call. It shouldn't have been a close call. This should have been obvious that this pier was load-bearing.
The commissioner of the New York City Buildings Department, Jimmy Odo, says his investigation found construction work was being done on the day of the collapse, contrary to what first responders were initially told. That work was to repair cracks in the building's corner pier, based on an inspection report from a private engineer hired by the building's owner.
The drawings by the engineer that this work was predicated on made a fundamental mistake in what that pier was. It was not decorative, it was load-bearing.
It's still early in the investigation.
I was blaming, in another video I made about this, I was blaming the owner for not maintaining the building, but I was wrong about that. He was trying to keep the building structurally sound. If this engineer has inspected other buildings, those buildings should be re-inspected by more competent engineers.
But the DOB's initial findings are that workers were pulling out essential bricks like a game of Jenga before the whole thing came crashing down.
He instructed the contractor to remove all the loose bricks and replace with new bricks. Clearly, removing bricks on a pier that supports 6 floors of the building above is not something that an engineer should direct a contractor to do without having.
Wow, this engineer must be extremely idiotic doing this. He should have known what would happen if the bricks were removed from a load-bearing beam.
Having additional temporary supports installed before you remove those bricks.
With everything that you are finding out now, was this collapse avoidable?
I can't stress enough to your viewers how fundamental of a mistake this was. It should have been clear to any professional engineer licensed by the state of New York the integral value and importance to the integrity of the building this pier was.
The DOB says that same engineer has also submitted facade inspections for more than 300 buildings across New York City.
And to restore the confidence of New Yorkers, we're looking at all of the work done by this engineer.
And re-inspecting that?
Yes.
So what happens now? Well, the DOB is suspending this engineer's ability to do inspections for facades and buildings in New York City, and also lobbying the state to re-examine the status of his license for inspections in general. And at the same time, the commissioner told me he'll have to look at how the process for city inspections with private engineers continue.